Welcome back for another lesson on how geometry helps us describe real-world objects. As you can see from this picture, we are using our book today. So I'd like you, if you don't have your book with you, to pause the video and go get your book. Once you have your book, we're going to turn to page 543. Great! I'm assuming you have your book with you now. Please open it to page 543. You'll see that the same picture is at the top of the page. It shows a diagram of the Golden Gate Bridge. Can you describe the angles that you see highlighted here? If you look at the angle that moves from left to right, that's called a straight angle. Then we see another angle going straight up into the air following the side of the tower. That angle, along with the straight angle at the bottom, makes a right angle, or what we would call a 90-degree angle. Today we're going to use some different words to describe angles that go along with these straight angles and right angles. We're going to be talking about complementary and supplementary angle pairs. Two angles are complementary if the sum of their measures is 90 degrees. That's our right angle, the 90-degree angle. In the picture here you can see that measurement of angle 1 plus the measurement of angle 2 is equal to 90 degrees. That means that these two angles together are complementary. Here's a picture of a picture frame, and you can see that this angle is approximately 90 degrees. When those two pieces of wood are put together, they are complementary and they form the corner. Now, two angles are supplementary if the sum of their measures is 180 degrees. This picture's kind of tilted, but you'll see why in just a minute. So if we have angles 3 and the measurement of angle 4, here they are equal to 180 degrees. The line that's going from the lower left to the upper right is a straight angle. So when we add those two angles together, we get 180 degrees. And now you can see why. This is the angle from my bicycle frame. Now we're going to look at some pictures and identify each pair of angles as complementary, supplementary, or neither. Look at these first two angles. We have a 60-degree angle and a 120-degree angle. You notice they're not touching each other, and that's okay. All I have to do is add them together, and I see that 60 plus 120 is equal to 180. That means that these two angles are supplementary. Let's take a look at a different one. Here I have a 35-degree angle and a 55-degree angle. When I add those two together, I get 90 degrees. That means that these two angles are complementary. One last example, if I take that 60-degree angle and add a 35-degree angle, I come up with 95 degrees. That means that these two angles are neither complementary or supplementary. Let's try some more examples. Here we have a barn door that's hung inside of a house, and you can see that this makes a 90-degree angle because we have the symbol for that at the bottom left corner. Then I have a 27-degree angle and a 63-degree angle. When I add those together, I get 90 degrees. That means that these two angles are complementary. I wonder if you can guess what this is. Here we have a 35-degree angle and a 145-degree angle, and this is taken from a picture of the inside of a car seat in a car. These two added together make 180 degrees, and that means that they are supplementary. Now we're going to stop the video, and you're going to complete problems A and B on page 544. They look like the picture you see below. Please stop the video now. I'm hoping you finish these problems on your own. You can see that these two on the left for problem A, 85 plus 90, makes 175. That means they're neither. The ones on the right for problem B, 75 plus 15 equals 90. That means they are complementary. We can also use these angle relationships to help you find a missing angle measurement. Here we have x instead of a number, and we have 22 degrees. So we know for sure that this is a right angle because we have the right angle symbol there. All right angles measure 90 degrees. So 22 degrees plus whatever x is should equal 90 degrees. So I can use algebra, and I'm going to subtract 22 from both sides, which leaves me with x is equal to 68 degrees. Here's another example. I have x and 62 degrees. Again, we know it's a right angle. All right angles measure 90 degrees, and we can do our algebra to find out that x is equal to 28 degrees. Here's one more example where we're going to look for a value for x. This does not tell us the angle measurement, it tells us the value for x. We know that this is a right angle. All right angles measure 90 degrees. We know that 28 degrees plus 2x should be equal to 90 degrees. Now we can just follow through with our algebra and find out that our value for x is 31. Now we're going to stop the video and complete problem C on page 545. You'll see that the picture looks just like the one I have below. If you completed this problem on your own, you would find that the value for x is 45 degrees. Now, this finding a missing measure method also works for supplementary angle pairs. Here we have angle Z and a 38-degree angle. We know that it's supplementary because we can see that the bottom line is a straight line, meaning that is a straight angle, and all straight angles measure 180 degrees. Again, we can follow through with our algebra and find that Z is equal to 142 degrees. I'm sorry, I left the degree marking off. Here's another example. Now we have three angles coming together. We still know this is a straight angle and that measures 180 degrees. Then we can add all three of these together, 68 plus 42 plus y equals 180. We can combine our like terms. 68 plus 42 is 110. Still plus y equals 180. Then we can subtract 110 from both sides and find that y, our missing angle, is equal to 70 degrees. Now we're going to look at a word problem with no pictures. If angle R and angle S are supplementary, the measure of angle R is 104 degrees, and the measure of angle S is 2x degrees. What is the value of x? Here we have angle R plus angle S is equal to 180 degrees. It's as if we're setting up our own formula. Then we're going to substitute the values that we were given in the problem, and again follow through with our algebra, and find that the value of x is 38. Here's another problem. Angle G and angle H are complementary. The measure of angle G is 63 degrees, and the measure of angle H is 9x degrees. What is the value of x? Again, we set up our equation. Angle G plus angle H has to equal 90 because they are complementary. We substitute the values that we've been given, follow through with our algebra, and find out that the value of x is 3. Now in this figure, the sum of the measures of angle YXZ and angle WXV is equal to 75. And they want to know what is the measure of ZXW. Now looking at this figure, there's a lot of information here that we actually don't even need. We know that these three angles together equal 180 degrees. We know that these two angles together equal 75 degrees. So what I'm going to do is, instead of writing those two angles, I'm going to write 75. So I've substituted 75 plus the angle ZXW. That together should equal 180 degrees. I can solve and find out that angle ZXW is equal to 105 degrees. So sometimes when you're given a problem in the book, you really have to look at it and think about, how can I do this problem the most simply? And this would be the simplest way to finish this problem. Now we're ready to check for understanding. I need you to go back to Google Classroom and complete check number 3. Thank you for listening today.